What's up everyone, Forest Knight here, and as you all know, I'm building an app that I wish to build into a company and really commit to, not just have an app on the App Store and that's that. I'm just over 1 month into this app and all I've really done is login authentication, auto keychain sign in, and the social feed. I'm pointing this out simply because iDev Journey is about me documenting my life, well, as far as iOS development is concerned, and this is part of that. Things rarely go as planned. A lot of my audience, you all, are really just starting out iOS development or are building their first application. Now I know there's some caveats, but that's really the main audience to my channel, at least as far as I've gotten in the comments. And I'm just trying to point out to you guys that if you follow anyone on social media, whether that's me on YouTube or Joe Schmo on Instagram, you are seeing the highlights of their life. Maybe not necessarily me with a video, but especially on Instagram, the highlights of their life, their iOS development journey, or their web development, or their freelancing, or their life altogether. And you're comparing that to your everyday life. Maybe you feel like you don't work as much as them. Maybe you feel like you aren't as good at programming as them because maybe you watch one of my videos and wonder how I can talk about all this stuff where you have to look it all up online. Well, guess what? I have to look everything up online in order to learn it, in order to regurgitate that information into this video. I don't know everything I've ever talked about in these videos. I don't remember everything, but I know how to find that information, which is why I'm able to create certain applications. So just know that just because you see something online isn't necessarily the reality of that person's life. So don't get down if you compare yourself to them, because like I said, that's their highlights versus your entire story. As for me, I'm doing what I can with the time I have, but still allowing time for friends, family, playing Overwatch if I ever so wish, and still, I just need to sustain my life as well as iOS development. And a lot of us have to work or go to school or do YouTube or all of the above on top of iOS development. And I mean, we're all living life. All of our lives have unexpected events occur, whether that's something not so fun to talk about or whether that's something like what happened this past weekend where my car, I needed to replace a few parts in there. So that took up hours of my time that I could have been doing something else. Sure, I could have taken it to the shop, but in all honesty, I didn't want to spend $200 or $300 for something I could do in, let's say, 5 hours with $40 worth of parts. And I like doing things with my hands, so I made time for it. I like to do little tasks like that, especially after working at work on a computer or working on schoolwork on a computer, most of the time sitting down. I actually just have a sit-stand desk. I'm going to be making a video about that here soon, so just stay tuned for that. And if you aren't already subscribed and you like this iDev Journey type stuff, be sure to subscribe. I do iOS development, design of the month, some product stuff, who knows. And I digress. What I'm trying to say is you need to sustain the life you wish to live as well as learn iOS development. If you are miserable doing iOS development 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day, or even 6 hours a day, that doesn't mean you're not cut out to be an iOS developer. That just means that's not the lifestyle you wish to live within the iOS development space. Or web development, software, it doesn't matter. See, you can just work iOS development 4 hours a day. That's what a lot of freelancers do. They do 4 hours a day of actually hard coding and research, that type of stuff within their project that they're building. And then the other 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, they're looking for clients for the next time, or they're branding themselves, or they're making YouTube videos, or what have you. You know, they're doing other things with their time instead of just typing away for 8 hours, 10 hours every single day. And everything I just mentioned isn't an excuse that I'm trying to give you guys for just getting through the 3 things that I listed today within my application. I know I'm a bit behind than I wish, but if something takes you, let's say, 3 months to do instead of 3 weeks, don't get down on yourself. Just keep on continuing forward and you'll eventually get there. Make sure you're happy along the way and having fun, because you're going to learn a whole lot more having fun than if you weren't. But just keep on going. That's this little first time motivational speech at the beginning of the video. But now let's get into the main point, and that is the process in which I'm going to be building my application. Step number 1 is social feed UI and implementation. Now, I've already done most of this, but y'all haven't seen it, so I figured I'd include it into this little list. I'm going to be making a video on it next iDev Journey. But number 1, social feed UI and implementation, where basically I create the UI and storyboard and I implement the backend and the code. Self-explanatory, right? Number 2, Firebase data modeling and architecture, where I'm basically structuring my JSON data for my backend. Or in layman's terms, I'm creating the most efficient real-time connection between my app and my backend, Firebase. And of course, I'll get more in detail within each of these videos, so if you don't understand exactly what I'm talking about right now, that's fine. We'll get into it. Make sure you subscribe if not. Step number 3 is create and manage iOS app users, where I will implement the code and the UI to allow users to upload their default image, change their name, upload their description or change their description, and whatever other information that will be included in your profile, you're able to edit it and will initially put it in to begin with. Number 4 is very similar to number 3. It's appropriately coming right after number 3, and that's creating the social profile. So all of that data, the image, the name, the description, needs to be placed somewhere for everyone to see, and that is the user profile, which I'll be creating the UI and implementing the code in step number 4. Step number 5 is data storage in Firebase, where there's a few more things I need to implement on the back end in Firebase in this step than what I did in step number 2, and that's like the data modeling and architecture. But I'll also be going back over what I did in step number 2 and making sure everything is the most efficient that it can be now that I kind of understand my app a little bit more, because I've already been working on it for however long it takes me to get through steps number 1 through 5. And step number 6 is to create the ability to post on social media. So for example, let's take Instagram. You hit on the plus, you choose your image, you apply a filter or change whatever the image looks like on the editing, or you don't edit it at all. And then you add in the descriptions, your hashtags, the location, whatever else you wish to add in. That's what I'll be creating in step number 6. And as far as the social media aspect of the app goes, that's it. Once we close in on these 6 steps, I'll update you further on when I'll integrate the stock tickers and when I'll integrate other things that don't really have anything to do with the social aspect, but more so the functionality. I'm not sure if I'm going to add in the payment option on initial release or if that'll be something that comes a little bit later. That's the type of stuff I'll update you on in a further talking head type video like this one. And per the discussion we had earlier in this video where I kind of said things don't really go as planned, I have soft dates set for myself for each of these steps, but I'm not going to tell you guys any hard dates because, well, things don't always go as planned. And as far as the iDev Journey series goes, I really like these not so technical videos, the ones where I'm talking to you guys, I'll get feedback, because I know, at least for me, I don't want to watch all these technical videos on YouTube all the time. I like to have something that's just kind of more personal, talking, not where I feel like I need to be at my computer in order to watch the video. You know what I mean? So if you feel the same way as that, be sure to tap or click if you're on a computer on that like button to let me know, as well as drop a comment, because I love interacting with you guys. If you like this type of video, be sure to let me know, because that'll encourage me to make more videos like this. I want you guys to let me know what you want to see on this channel or in iDev Journey so I can cater to you guys. And if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to do that. I hope to see you guys in the next video. And until next time, have a good one.